Lovely people, how are you? It's good to see you. It's so sunny here. I've put a notice board in the window so I don't get shined on with really bright sunshine, but I think it's going to rain. It's been raining anyway. I'll just wait for you to pop in the door and let me know how you are. I've got a few things to chat to you about today, so we'll get on with that in a moment. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you coming. Give me a hello in the chat and tell me how you're going at your place. What's going on at your place? What are you knitting? How are you feeling? Just stuff like that. It's Thursday. This week is flown by. The weeks are flying by. I don't know about you, but the weeks are absolutely just flying by. I can't believe I turn around and it's Thursday again. Hey, Robin, nice to see you. Hi, Joe. Evening with you. All right, tell me where you are, Joe. Evening with you. It's definitely, what is it today? The 13th of April down here in New Zealand. So far, so good. It's quite cloudy, but there's a bit of blue and it's been raining and now it's very sunny. But, oh, there goes my phone. It's making noises. I'm just going to have to make it be quiet. Don't know how to make it be quiet. Right. Hey, Sabrina, you're having a second go at the Dreamweaver shawl using a different yarn. So Dreamweaver was the shawl that we just got over at Wardrobe Toolbox. And it's very addictive. I've told you that before, but it's really fun. So people are making, well, certainly Sabrina is making a second one, which will be really nice. Okay, you're pouring, and let me see your comments. You're trying to get my knit finished to do the steek. Eek! Oh, goody. Someone's going to do some steeking. I don't know who that is. And I do recall people talking about steeking. Who was that talking about steeking the other day? And they hadn't realized. I can't think who it was. Was it Ruth? It might have been you, Ruth. Joe's in the UK. Aha. Hopefully it's springtime. Hope you've got some of those beautiful, the snowdrops probably been and gone, have they, Joe? But you're on to daffodils and all sorts of lovely things by now. Blossoms. Fabulous. Terry says she's doing a palette cleanser, a small person's cardigan. It's a cool easterly with the sun out. There we are. We get the weather report on here. Hey, from Melbourne. Nice to see you. Yvette said it's a very hot and muggy in Cairns. Claire, good morning. She says, I think I'm addicted to Dreamweaver. I think you are, actually, Claire. That would be true. Oh, it's rainy and windy there in the UK. Oh, hopefully it's sunny for you tomorrow morning. Some cool, brisk weather. It is, Ruth. I thought it was you, Ruth. See, I did remember. Morning, says Maureen. Well, since you asked, she said. I've got two things on the needles. A love note. Yeah, that's a lovely one. Love note is a jumper that so many people have knitted, and even my mum knows about Love Note. So there we are. It's reached all the corners of the knitting world. It's a lovely jumper. And a very lovely Afra. I don't know that one. Afra by Isabel Kramer. I'm hanging out to see your new colours. I'm hanging out to see my new colours as well. So I think I told you last week, I'm getting a very small amount of them to make samples. And then the rest of them will be coming after that. I don't know when. I'll tell you. You won't miss out. Trust me. I'll tell you. I just got my yarn in the mail from you. Colorway is Joy. That's the gorgeous, gorgeous gold one. I love it, and the color is so much more rich in person. Agreed. They are. They're beautiful, beautiful, rich colors. They really are. Good morning, Libby. It feels like it's been a while. I was working on my Dreamweaver. I was hoping to finish it over Easter, but I had to whip out a Milo for a friend. And I got through the first two charts and changed my colors, and now I'm doing it in a single color and loving it. I'm imagining that could be Amanda, but I'm not 100% sure. Jo says she's got two sweaters on the needles, and they're both test knits. Excellent. So I've got some more things to tempt you with today. I was sitting there at my desk yesterday, and I was thinking, I need to do a bit more knitting, actually. I was thinking that. I need to do a bit more knitting. I haven't been doing enough knitting. I've been doing a lot of work on my computer, and I haven't been doing enough knitting. And you know that feeling? I think we all know that feeling when you just need to do some knitting. I need a knit is what I need, and more knitting. A little bit of knitting isn't cutting it. And then I sat down because I fixed the jeans that I'm wearing right now. I sat down at my sewing machine, which is now tidy. My whole sewing area is tidy. So I sat down at the sewing machine and I fixed my jeans. I put some patches on them, and I had a little, at the bottom where I'd cut them off because they were too long, and I fold them up, raw edges. It had split a little bit at the bottom over time. Technically, they were my gardening jeans, but they're so comfy. I thought I'd just wear them. Anyway, I sat down to fix my jeans, and I just had this flood of, That's right. And I think because I've been sewing since I sewed such a lot as a teenager. I think that it just transports you back to those times when I sit down and I have this, I feel all of the, feelings all roll off you. It's like this wash of, oh, that's right. That's what life is like, that kind of feeling. And I thought, oh, you know what we need to talk about? We need to talk about how good our crafts are for us. That's what we need to talk about, I thought, because they really are. And I think, people make these trite comments about it and they say, I think there are people on the fringes who they write articles about how good knitting is for you. And I'm not sure that they're always knitters. And I don't know if they always really get it, how that good they are for you. And I'm sure people feel it in all sorts of ways. I'm sure wood turners feel it, and gardeners feel it, and chefs feel it, and creative florists feel it. I think we all have that just those, and whatever they are that rush through you, endorphins, oxytocin, whatever it is that rushes through you. Mothers of new babies feel it. I think you have that rush that goes through you, which calms you down in those very, very creative pursuits. And I think that's a big part of why and I hesitate to say the word should, but why it's a really great idea for people to have a bash and to just do it for the pleasure of it as well. I love getting something good out of it, though. I really am. I really do like a project, a finished project at the end of it. But I thought, I think we underestimate it. And I think sometimes you can drift along and you know what's good for you. It's like, eating healthy and moving your body, and we know what's good for us, but it's very hard to actually do it sometimes. And I think that's true of our crafts, our knitting and our sewing, but I'm thinking today particularly about knitting. Sometimes you just need to literally carve out time because it's so beneficial to you that you need to carve out time so you feel good when you're doing it. And the more you do of it, unless you're doing nothing else and then your whole house falls apart, nobody eats and all of those things, there's probably a balance to be had there, but we definitely carving out some time and making it a priority for yourself. I just say one priority is a really good idea. I think it's a really good idea. And I'm saying this as much for my benefit as I am for yours. So I'm going to show you a few things. Let me just look at your chats. Andrea is she's loving making the Rose cardigan by Andrea Mowry. Now, I think Andrea, because you're also Andrea, is that the one that's knitted up from one side? And if it is that one, I love that one. And I would love to have a bash at that one. I think it looks like a really interesting construction. I think it has something up the arm. Just let me know if that's right. It's 26 degrees in Toronto. And of course, next week it's dropping to 5. Oh, Judith, such crazy weather. Heather is calling in from sunny Te Puke. She's currently knitting blue. I don't know how you say a lot of these words. Bluery by Albiona McLaughlin. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know that one at all. Marie says it's very overcast in Christchurch, but not cold. Jo says she's going to take up sewing. Oh, Jo in the UK, you're going to take up sewing. Excellent. I am getting a new sewing machine. Just a matter of interest, I've been following the woman Lisa Comfort from Sew Over It for years and years and years. I've been following her, and I find her she's pretty, she goes for it. She really does go for it. I find her quite invigorating. But anyway, I noticed that she did Sew Over It. Do you remember Sew Over It? She's still got a big website and like an online thing where you can learn about sewing. And she had a couple of shops, and she's now a florist. She's now growing flowers. So she's still got Sew Over It. It's all ticking along, but she's moved. I think she burnt out actually. Her marriage fell apart and things were very tricky. And she got into growing flowers. And of course, I was thinking, oh, well, her dog was called Poppy and her child was called Jasmine. So she obviously already had a flower thing going on. But yeah, she's gone into flower growing. So there we are, Jo. I just thought that was interesting. And I think you can find it's like Jazzy Rose or Jazzy. I think it's something like that. You can, if everyone has ever followed her, you can find her over there. And she's just throwing as much energy and gusto into that as she always ever has, which as I said, I find that super invigorating. Anyway, there's a lot of fantastic sewing stuff in the UK, Jo. Make the most of it. Not least of which the Great Sewing Bee, of course. someone else says, I've been cleaning out my mother's belongings after she went into a rest home, and I found all these photos, and realized I made most of my teenage wardrobe and a lot for my sister too. And then I got busy with kids and work and studying, and now I'm trying to get back into more sewing. Oh, who is that? I'd love to hear who that is. Yes, I think this is probably a story that a lot of people will tell. The story that you did a lot of sewing, particularly I think us Gen Xers, as they like to say, a lot of us were sewing, and older, my mum's generation down to ours. I don't know quite what happened below. I'm thinking about my sister, 7 years younger than me, and she did a little bit of sewing, but that really we did a lot of sewing in our teens. There wasn't the proliferation of shops that there are now. You just didn't nip out and buy things. Not really. And I never had that much money anyway, only what I got from my jobs, at Georgie Pie and my paper run and those things. So I didn't have a lot of cash, but I made things, and I dipped into my mother's stash of fabric. That's how I made things, mostly. Sometimes I would buy a bit of fabric. Someone else says, I just finished a lot of knits for 2 young people plus a jersey for my adult son. That is a good knit. Adult jersey is in Your Yarn Explorer. Fantastic. That's that beautiful, rich green. Very happy with the end result. I'll post a picture when it's seamed and blocked. Oh, look, I look forward to seeing that. I would say also sometimes, oh yes, now this is also true. Thinking about knitting and how it is good for us. Sometimes you just need a new cast on, even if you already have 10 whips. I think so. I actually think so. I think there's something about, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to start again. I'm just going to have a fresh start. I'm just going to put all of that over there, and I'm going to metaphorically have a fresh start. I understand that feeling, definitely. What am I knitting on? I am knitting on a couple of different things at the moment, and I've got a cardigan for, I shouldn't say that. I've got a cardigan for Wardrobe Toolbox. I'm not supposed to tell you what it is. I've actually swatched a couple of other things that I'm doing with my own yarn, and I've got a jersey and my own yarn on the go. So I'm doing a few things, but some of them require a little bit of maths for me to continue. So I'm sort of a bit hiccuping through that at the moment. Andrea, correct. It is my first fade. Oh, yes. So it's the rose cardigan. It's from side to side, and it's a fade. I hadn't registered that. It's a fade. Okay. And it's knitted in 4 sections from arm to middle with a cable across the top. It is, I can imagine. I haven't seen her put out another one like that. And I think that would have been an amazing mathematical feat, that cardigan, to actually put that together. So I applaud her for doing that, because it looked like a really complicated cardigan to put together. And I understand that desire to throw yourself into some sort of new construction and all these new things. But it's tricky. It is tricky to get it together. Joe in the UK wants to sew some dresses. Oh, goody. Yes, I really am so fond of dresses. No, I didn't, Terry. Did I ever sew up that beautiful floral fabric? Terry, my sewing machine has been so neglected. It cries, it waits for me, and it cries. But I have finally, because I moved it into the position where I used to actually work, I've moved it from my sitting room up to there. And so now it has its own spot. It was a mess for ages, and I've actually just tidied up the whole mess. So I'm trying to get ahead of myself on my other work, and then I'm going to sit down and do some sewing. But I'm hoping. And it has become cheaper to buy clothes. It has become cheaper, but they don't last, do they? So I wonder how cheap it really is, because I'm not seeing them lasting like they used to. Hey, Marie, nice to see you. You heard that. It was a chicken, I think, probably laying in the wrong place. Re-knitting sleeves on Hebe that didn't fit. I'm making them smaller. It's much better, and it's been in the naughty corner for a while. Oh, that's good, Beck. That's a good thing to do. Yeah, so those sleeves, they're nice and easy to adjust on a drop shoulder. Okay, so I was talking to you about all of this knitting and sewing, and how, I'm obviously feeling a deep desperation to just sit. Actually, you know what I want to do? My dad's been telling me about a program that he's thoroughly enjoying on TVNZ. So those of you overseas, I'm sure you can find it. It's called A Spy Among Friends. And I never watch TV anymore. I mean, we don't have a TV. We haven't had a TV for 20 years, but I do watch things on the computer, and then sometimes we can put them on a big screen that one of the kids had that is left here, which is great. So, but Dad said on TVNZ Repeat on the thing, there's this program called A Spy Among Friends, and it's got he said it's great. He's really, really enjoying it. And so I often enjoy things my dad enjoys. So I thought I'd like to sit down and watch that and knit. I just want to knit something where I can just lose myself in whatever is on the TV or the screen and just knit, which requires a certain type of knit. So it made me think, oh yeah, there are different knits, aren't there? There's different knits depending on how you want to feel. So I've got a whole lot of stuff out and I thought I'd show you some ideas for different knits depending. Oh, Judah said it's a great series. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, so I'm looking forward to that. So there's different knits for depending on how you want to feel. So I thought I'll just go through them in no particular order, but I would tell you why I think they're a good knit for a particular thing as I grabbed them out of my box this morning. So the first one I grabbed out was actually this one. And this one, which needs a little bit of a de-pill. Now there's several things going on with this jersey. This is my henna jersey, and I wear this when the weather is particularly cold. It's this one. It's got the roll neck, and it's knitted in the round, and it's got these fabulous slip stitches. Can you see in it? These fabulous split stitches, and it's knitted in Bohemia worsted. I think it's called Bohemia now. It's knitted in Bohemia worsted, so it's decadently soft. And I looked at that and I thought, this is the kind of knit that you want to knit when you need a long expanse of something that gives you occasionally piques your interest and wakes you up, because you're doing these slip stitches as you go through, especially when you get to the body. So you're doing a little bit of counting and then you're doing this occasional slip stitches as you go. But also, the yarn is so just absolutely delicious and reassuring. And it's both the softness and also the color, because I think I did a thing ages ago about different colors and how they make you feel. And green is a very, very nourishing color. So I thought henna, she is quite a good one if you need something that's going to keep you super warm, that has a lovely polar neck on her. So if you live somewhere and it gets cold, or you haven't got the heating on all the time because it's so freaking expensive, so you're just going to put on your big warm jumper and stay cozy. Henna knitted in this, you could knit it in my yarn, in the worsted. That would be lovely. The thicker yarn, the DK, would work out beautifully. But if you want something that has this decadent softness, mine is like a medium. If you wash it and it softens up, and if you wash it with a bit of conditioner, it will go even a bit softer. And if you made this a little bit more oversized, I think that would feel fabulous. This one is the luxury softness that Bohemia has, which is from Outlaw Yarn. So I thought that was the first one I picked up. I thought, yeah, a knit like that, actually, those really serve a good purpose, those knits, for just, it's got lots of bitty bits on it. I need to go through and actually pull them off before I wear it again this winter. But that serves a really good purpose, that one, because you have a long stretch of stuff that you're not going to lose yourself quite as much, because you're going to, I'm back to a slip. I'm back to a slip session. I'll just slip those as I go. And then I'm going to knit a little bit more, because you just knit. Oh, now I'm doing a slip. So I think that is quite a good one. And then the second one I picked up was this one, which is Dolly. And we know Dolly. And this one is a good one, where I think you start off with real oomph. And you think, I'm going to knit a new cardigan, and I'm going to throw myself into it, and I'm going to really enjoy the color work. And I've just got this, I've got this much energy. I've got this much energy to plan the colors. I've got this much energy to just get through the yoke. And I just want to feel interested. And I just need to escape a little bit. I want to think about it and not be part of everything at the moment. And I'm just going to knit this and have some real prettiness develop on my needles. And then I'm just going to relax. And I'm just going to relax through the rest of the body until I get down to the bottom. But I'm just going to relax, and I'm going to put in a bit of waist shaping. So I might count a little bit, but I'm just going to race. I'm just going to go through the whole body. But I've started strong. That's this cardigan. Start strong, this much energy, and then, okay, now I've done that. I've proved to myself that I can do it if I want, and I have achieved this beauty at the top. And now, I'm just going to knit. I'm just going to knit, and I'm going to purl, and I'm going to do that until I get to the end. That is Dolly. That is Dolly. She'll do that for you. Definitely do that for you. Okay, the next one I picked up was this one. I think this was the next one I picked up, which is my maiden sweater. This is the one I knitted for myself the second time, which I wear. And she should have gone before Dolly, because she is even just a little, you've got this much energy. I've got this much energy, and I'm just going to put it into making a stripy stripes. I'm going to put it into the yoke. I'm going to reserve some energy. I haven't even got it in the cuffs, but in the original, it's got stripes at the bottom. And here, I'm just going to get started, and then I'm going to relax. There is quite a bit of thinking as you're going through here. You do have to pay attention a little bit in the short rows and the shaping in this one around their body. It's worth it though. It is worth it. And then I'm just going to knit. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to curl up. I'm going to make myself a hot cup of tea. I might put something good on. I might put on a Spy Among Friends, and I'm just going to sit there and I'm just going to knit, and I'm not going to stop for a whole hour or maybe even 2 or 3. I'm just going to knit nonstop because you don't have to purl. All you have to do is knit. It's absolutely fantastic if you need that. Let's have a look and see what you're saying. Cold and rainy in Oamaru. Good weather for knitting, school holidays, and the kids are stuck inside. I've snuck away to my room to get some peace and quiet and watch you, Joe. That sounds really good. Someone else says, I love Dolly. She's my most worn cardie. I get very tempted to extend my crop jersey version, but then I remember why I cropped it, and I just wear it. Good. That's good. I love my Dolly too, says someone else. I need to do the jersey like you did. Yes, I just love that. I just have enjoyed the second maiden. This is the maiden too. So Dolly, I haven't got a Dolly too, but I think I will do a Dolly too. I want to turn her into a jumper for you because I did Floozy and then Floozy too, and I wear Floozy too to pieces. Okay, what did I pick up next? The next one I picked up was actually, it was actually this one. I'm tossing between two, but it was actually this one. This is Silver Stream. So this is if you want something. You're just like, give me quick gratification. Give me something fast. Make me feel good. Let me finish something. I just want to wear it. I want to prove to myself I don't just abandon things halfway through. I am a finisher. I do these things. I do things that look much trickier than they actually appear. And I just want to feel good. So there's a couple of reasons why Silver Stream is good for that. One, because she's Aran weight yarn. She's really chunky. You could knit her in any weight you wanted to, make her as big as you like by just, keeping on going. But she is Aran weight, so she knits up beautifully fast. I used, it's up there. Mary's yarn, but it's not Mary's anymore. Someone will have to remind me. Absolutely beautiful yarn, crossbred merino for this one. It's got that lovely shape like that at the top. I do love the shawls with this shape at the top. And it's really fun because it's knitted in just a combination of knits and purls, like a fisherman's rib but not kind of thing down the body. And then when you get to here, you just have quite simple lace. But overall, she's very, very effective. And she's fast. She's fast. You can wear her. You can throw her on. She looks fantastic on. She'll keep you really cozy and warm. And then you can wear her when you're knitting the next thing. So Silver Stream, that was the next one. I thought, yeah, she gives you quick satisfaction. If you're after some quick satisfaction and you just want to knit and you just want your fingers to feel a little bit moving because you're knitting and you're purling and you're knitting and you're purling and you're increasing and it's not hard, but your fingers keep busy. I need my fingers to be busy and doing something. This is the one. Silver Stream is the one to do that. She will definitely make you satisfied in all of those areas. Busy fingers, but restless. If you're feeling a bit restless, I think, then you just put them into this. Put them into a Silver Stream. You'll feel a lot better for it. This was the next one I grabbed, and this one is. Someone remind me. It is this one. Oh, my name's gone. It's gone out of my head. I'm going to wait for you to tell me while I read your comments. Somebody says, I'm currently working on Silver Stream now, and I'm almost finished with mine. I want to say Xanthi, and I know it's not Xanthi, but this is the name that's just come into my head. Come on, someone, tell me what it is. I always manage my knitting by how much brain energy I have. Bingo. Then I am working on something that is cables or patterned colour work, and then in the evening, when I'm tired, I'm working on another whip that's just knitting, etc. Something I don't have to pay attention to. It's why I've got several whips, so there's always something to work on. It's a really good idea. Someone says they're knitting up the Trinnigan cardigan. It's such fun. I have purchased the Dolly cardigan. Still deciding which colours to use, and I love the look of it. And that's Jo hidden in her bedroom. It's good on you, Jo. I'm hidden out here too. Anyway. The name of this one's escaped me. It'll come back to me in a moment, but it's escaped me. But this one is fantastic because this is another example of how you can, you've got a feather, how you can mostly knit. You can have a little bit of interest. You just kind of, in a way, it's a little bit meditative because you have to count. And if you're counting between your stitches for your repeat of lace, this very basic zigzag lace with the eyelets, and then the central spine where you do all your increases. It's very meditative. It's like those rosaries, that you just go over and over and over something over and over. Juniper, thank you. It is juniper. You're wonderful. I don't know where I got xanthe from. Anyway, but the other fun thing about it is you do a bit of smooshing. So you start at the end and it grows and she grows and she grows. So you also have a strong start because she grows quite quickly in the beginning and then she gets slower. But as she starts to slow down, you introduce another color. And then you can knit on that. And she slows down even more. And right at the end, you introduce another color. So I used this beautiful sort of fade of colors all the way through. And she's lovely and large. And I wear this one a lot. And this is a really good shawl for just a sock yarn. It's a great sock yarn shawl because you will want to wear her a lot because she's so easy to wear. And you're just going to beat her up quite a bit. Not like that. You know what I mean? It's just, you're going to grab her and throw her on and then take her off and stuff her in your bag and throw her in the back of the car and then grab her and take her off and put her on the back of the table. So you're going to need something that's going to handle that because this is a shawl that you're going to wear a lot. So Juniper, there we are, tie her up. She is fun and I love the colors of this one. But I think from this one, you will get movement. She'll give you movement. I know Revive. It's such a pity she's not dying anymore because her yarn is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So it was Revive yarn. But you can find another fade, something that fades from 3 skeins of fingering. But she'll relax you. She'll keep you just a little bit on the ball. Just a little bit. She's not overly demanding of you. She will help you be repeating where you're just doing the thing, count, increase, relax, count. You're just going to do that. So she gets you into a really, really good rhythm. Sabrina, you did a subtle fade for Juniper with yarns from Kiwiana. I've got some Kiwianas up there. That would be a fantastic option because her yarns are really made for fading one into the other. Really nice. Great to hear your wool soften up with a soak and conditioner. I haven't decided what I'll do with the wools I have of yet. Do you get like that? Yes, definitely. Want a knit worthy of the wools? Yes, I definitely get like that. It has to be the right thing if you've got the right wools. They will soften even just with washing. The yarns I've got, they're not scratchy, but they're definitely farm yarns. They're going to last you forever if you keep them from the moths. And they will soften up beautifully. So I can wear mine against the skin fine. I love wearing them, and they definitely have that sort of more rustic feel. Anyway, Juniper. So you get that. You're going to get those things from Juniper. You're going to feel a little bit. She might wake you up a little bit, just a little bit, just to make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm still here, and I'm still managing. Okay, so then I grabbed this one. One of the reasons I love this one is, again, because it's so soft. And this one is Pohika. And I knitted her in a pure alpaca. And this one is just a beautiful combination of interesting shaping and knits and pearls. So there's nothing overly demanding about this one, but the result is fantastic. See, you get this sort of shape when you're finished. And it has that lovely rolled edge at the bottom. And if you can see, it has knits and pearls, garter and stockinette next to each other. So you're just knitting and you're purling. I love this little shawl. I often used to wear this one the other way around my neck and down at the front, but like a Viking lady, I used to feel like in this shawl. But I rather love this one, and it's beautifully soft. So with this one, it's a little bit like Juniper. Not quite the same because you're not quite counting in the same way. You're not counting between eyelets, but you're knitting. You're actually going to be able to read your knitting really well. So you can think less when you're doing this one, because once you're in the rhythm of it, you can read what you're doing, because you're always going to stick to the garter in the garter section and the stockinette in the stockinette section. So it'll just flow off your needles, and you'll feel clever without actually having to input too much energy. So she will be a really good knit in front of the TV sort of cardigan, shawl, knit, and I'm chatting to someone sort of shawl, or just knit because I just need to sit outside and I just need to look at the day and I just need to slow down kind of knit. That's what she is, Pohika. So she's really good for that. But Yeah, I also wore it like this, around this way, because she falls so fabulously, and you can feel very Outlander in this, wearing her like that, just over your shoulders. She goes down your back. You can make her bigger just by keeping on going. But alpaca, if you have got a pure alpaca, oh, she's so soft and lovely. Here, Ruth says, I've got 4 whips at the moment. I'm considering casting on another. I need a TV watching car riding knit. Plus, I'm getting close to finishing my cardie. Oh, good. I might have one for you in the testing soon, Ruth. So hang on. Hold on for that. Yeah. So anyway, that was Pohika. I think she is, you can think less. You can stop looking at the pattern. You can just have your own thoughts. You can mull over things. You can just figure out some problems while you're knitting this one, I think. I finished Anthropology from Knit Vent. Is that the big circle? Was that the big circle one in Knit Vent? That was amazing. What I need to get through January and February. Oh, she needed that to get through January and February. Fantastic. Just casting off Sunset Light, Shawl, and onwards to finally finishing Maiden. Oh, sounds like you've got lots of lovely things. I know. The problem is that you want to cast them all on. I know, me too, but it's really good for me to do this because then I feel really invigorated as well. Okay, so the next one I picked up was this one. And this is Feathers, and this is knitted in my own yarn. This is knitted in Scholar, and you can see she's a really browny grey. It's grey, but it's brown. It's a browny grey Scholar. And Feathers is a really good one because you can definitely stop looking at the pattern after a while. You'll start with the fringe at the bottom, and this is a little repeat. So you just do it over and over and over. And you know what I would do? If you're thinking that you want to ditch the pattern and just get into the rhythm of it and then you have so much freedom, I would put stitch markers between the repeats so that the stitch markers will physically, as you hit them with your fingers, will remind you what to do. You can go into autopilot with this one. So then when you get up to this section here, it's an easier repeat. It's easier than this initial one with the ribs in it. So you get up to here and then you have that sort of easier repeat. So as your fingers, it's not very wide, but as you hit the stitch markers, your fingers will go, oh, I need to do something. I need to start again. So again, I think it's a little bit more like that rosary bead style of, like a mantra kind of thing that you might do where you take your brain somewhere else and you become very in the moment with this one. It just can over and over. Your body can go into somewhere else. I think that's what it'll do for you as you knit. And then you just keep on knitting. You don't increase, you don't decrease. You just do the same thing and you just get into a rhythm. I think sometimes those rhythms, I think it's like when we're, babies and our mother's heartbeats. It's that rhythm that is so very reassuring to us. And I think sometimes we need a bit of that as adults too. So this can do that for you. Feathers, she's lovely, and I adore this shawl and this yarn. I adore wearing this in the winter. I feel so fantastic when I'm wearing this one in the winter. It's just big and bold and dramatic around my shoulders, and I just love it. I have to get it all pulled out and lovely, but she is a really fantastic one just to throw on. I'm really looking forward to winter. I really hope it gets really cold. I want a very cold winter. So yeah, she's a great one just to throw on. And in any of the Truly Myrtle colors, she works out beautifully. From memory, I think we used 4 skeins of the sport from memory. I'll have to, hopefully, I don't remember if Claire's here actually, so she might be able to tell us because she made this one for me, which is very kind of her. So, yeah, I think it was 4 skeins of the sport weight yarn to do this beautifully long, scrunchy, yarny, beautiful. I love it. Okay, here we go. Got that one. Yeah, problem with me. Don't put out any tests yet. I need to finish your whips. All right, I'll leave you another week, maybe 10 days, and then I'll bring you another one. I'm trying to catch up with Amanda on the number of whips. I've currently have 8, which includes 2 socks, which are my car knitting. I've got so many to cast on. I'm working through my 12 days of cast-ons with yarn and yarns. Oh, that sounds fun. But of course, I've cast on more as well. Having them cast on means when I'm ready, I can be monogamous, which has increased my output and satisfaction of knitting. I love it. I love that. That's really good. Casting on a lot, so you're feeling great, and then you've got to go back to them. Just 3 more to cast on then, says Amanda. Claire trying to catch up with her. 4 skeins. Yes, so we use 4 skeins for that beautiful feathers knitted in Scholar. So you just use the same pattern and you just keep knitting and knitting and knitting until you've got, you know how much you've got at the front, you know how much you've used for the back ribbing, and then you just knit in the middle till you've used up the remainder. Okay, so the next one I grabbed was this one. And this is Phoenix. And Phoenix is a really fun jumper to wear in the winter. I gave her sort of, in my head, she was sort of like a peasant jersey, whatever that means to you. Means kind of, to me, it's like full and fun, and I'm just going to nip out and pick a couple of turnips, and then I'm going to throw them into an awesome stew for dinner. That's the kind of vibe I was going for. I'm warm, but I'm very practical. That's what I was after. So anyway, I knitted this in beautiful, very thick. This is an Aran weight yarn from Union Fiber. I don't even know if she has it now, because it was actually a base from this one, which has gone out of my brain. Someone can help me. Goodness me. So yeah, I love it. The thing I love about this one is, again, you've got that whole thing about, I'm going to give myself a strong start. I'm just going to get into it, and I'm going to prove to myself that I'm going to have some fun, and I've got a little bit of energy, and I'm going to do that. And then I just really need to like chill out. And so after that, you get into the body. But the beautiful thing is, because she's so thick, you will whip this up in no time at all. She will fly off your needles. She's not overly long, although you can make her as long as you like. Her sleeves on mine have sort of got a slight bell to them, and they're a bit cropped. But you can just make them as long as you like. Some people have knitted this one in a DK, which would be lovely too. I wanted a layer. I wanted this sort of boxy layer, bulky layer to go over the top of my skirts and jeans and things like that. So that's how I wear her. And all of this at the top is slipped stitch knitting. So it's not tricky. You slip, you knit, you slip, you knit. It's really not tricky. And you'll feel very accomplished when you make that one. So that's another one just to like chill out with. And then I have two more that I was going to show you. This was the next one I picked up. And this one is Toy Toy. And I thought Toy Toy is a really good one. A, because she's a DK. This is knitted in a beautiful, beautiful Blue Face Leicester. So it's a really nice yarn. It's a DK. But the thing about Toy Toy that is so nice is you're knitting forward and back and forward and back. However, it's not just knitting. If you need a little forward, up, I've come to this part, and then back, up, I've come to this part again, forward, up. You just need a little like that. You need to be clicked a little every now and then so you don't zone out too much. You just want to be thinking. You want to be brought back. So your thoughts, maybe if you've got thoughts that are going in places you're not actually that keen about, and you just want to snap them back into where you want them to go, this is a good one, because it'll snap you back. At the beginning and end of every row, you've got this section here. So it snaps you back. And I think that's quite a nice thing to have done to you if you want it. It's got plain back, and it's got this fabulous long collar at the top. And then I've got buttons that I never do up. Love that one. Yes, you might have to cast on in the meantime, Ruth. If you're going to knit so fast, then you can get one done in 10 days. Someone says, my Phoenix is definitely my farm jersey. Mostly because I got caught out in the rain and it stretched almost to my knees. It shrank back a lot, but it's still my baggy farm jumper. We all need one of those, I think. Baggy farm jumpers, even if you live in town, you need a baggy farm jumper. Okay, and this was the last one, because this is another one, I think, where you can, you can invest just enough energy into this one. And this one is, it's just gone out of my head again. I'm not very good. It's too many now. I just have too many to remember all the names. Nobody should do this to somebody, making them remember so many names. It's just cruel, actually, to make them remember them. Someone will remind me. Belle. It came back to me. Belle. So this one is the second version of Belle that I did that is in the new pattern that's out. And I used a blend of Eden Cottage yarn. And it had a little bit of linen in it. It has silk merino linen from memory. It has a little bit of linen. It's deliciously soft and squishy. But it alternates between the stockinette and then the garter ribs all the way through the body. So it's a really nice rhythmic knit. It's easy though. You can knit and watch something with this. As long as you've got your markers in, so you know that you're increasing and where you're increasing. So your fingers tell you do something different. As long as you've got that, you'll be sweet as going through the whole body to get to the bottom. You'll just relax and knit and alternate colors, and you'll feel good because it's constantly changing. Knit another row, I'll just knit the next color. Oh, I'll just knit the next color. Just knit that, and it'll keep you going. So if you need a bit of an oomph to keep you going, it's a good one. Then you get to the bottom and you do the lace, which is really great lace for someone that is not feeling like they want to get lost in lace. It's not too tricky. It's just it's a really good lace for someone that just likes doing a bit of simple lace. So it looks much trickier than it is, and you can put your stitch markers in and keep it separated if you want. It will change in the middle and at the ends, but you can just adjust as you go. And at the end, I did the border, which is how you end. You end with a climax on the grand finale of putting on the border, and I did it in the mohair, but you can use whatever you like. And I did this little soft border that you knit on at the end. And I love that. Absolutely love it. So that is Belle. And I think you'll feel really good when you finish that one. She's lovely to wear, this one. She really is lovely to wear. Look at her. Doesn't she look fantastic when you put her on? Really good. I'm so looking forward to getting dressed this winter. I think it's going to be just magnificent. So that is a range. I thought it's just occurred to me how I think intuitively we do know what we need when we need it. I think we intuitively know what suits us. I think we intuitively know what we need. It's just we have to listen to ourselves. And so this is just a matter of pairing what you know you need with what you've got, the yarn you have and the colors you have and the kind of patterns you have and the size of project you have. And lots of you have got a lot of projects, so you can dip and dive. Some point in the day I need this one, and other points in the day I need that one. And I think that you already know. You already know. It's just a reminder, and I'm reminding myself as much as I'm reminding you. So everybody, hopefully you'll feel, priority. Make it your priority. Feel good with knitting. All right, everybody, I'm not going to see you next week. I'm going to have the week off next week because it's school holidays here. So I'm going to have a week off and do something nice with my children. And I will see you the week after. We have got the double time cardigan coming. I'll be talking to you about that in the upcoming weeks. But have a great couple of weeks. I will see you not next week, but the week after, right here in the Hangout and on YouTube. I think we're everywhere today, talking all about knitting and yarn and knit heaps and have lots of fun. I'll see you later, everybody. Bye.